In this podcast episode, tennis coach Patrick Mouratoglou shares deep insights into what separates the great tennis players from the greatest, drawing upon his experience coaching legends like Serena Williams and his observations on Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, and Rafael Nadal. The conversation spans mindset, mentality, personal coaching stories, the evolution of tennis, parental influence, passion, resilience, and mental strength, offering a masterclass in high performance both on and off the court. Patrick emphasizes that talent and physical weapons, while often lauded, are not what ultimately define the greatest players. Instead, mindset, particularly confidence, ambition, and attention to detail, plays the decisive role. Using Novak Djokovic as the prime example, he points out that Djokovic's game technically lacks the singularly outstanding shots of Federer or the physical dominance of Nadal. Yet Djokovic is the greatest of all time due to an unparalleled work ethic, professionalism, and an unyielding desire to dominate despite facing two of the best players in history. Patrick notes Djokovic's hunger to constantly improve, test new technologies, and push every detail to gain 0.1% advantage, showcases a mindset that surpasses natural talent. Patrick's relationship with Serena Williams began after a period of struggle for Serena, notably following a first-round loss at the French Open and a 2-year Grand Slam drought. He recounts their first meeting at his academy, where Serena's initial resistance and desire to assert control over their dynamic led to a memorable moment, Patrick hitting her cap's visor and setting non-negotiable rules for respect and communication. This moment marked a turning point in building mutual trust. He shares stories of Serena's extraordinary willpower, such as when she battled through the 2015 French Open while running a 40-degree fever, refusing to accept defeat and ultimately winning the tournament. These examples underline how mindset, even in adversity, propelled her to extraordinary achievements. Patrick rejects the simple debate of whether talent or mindset is more important, emphasizing that all factors, technical, physical, and mental, are tightly interconnected. A technical flaw, for instance, can cause mental disruption, showing how inseparable these elements are in competitive tennis. Experience plays a major role in cultivating a champion mindset. Champions have repeatedly faced adversity, come back from setbacks, and developed an internal voice that convinces them they will find a way to win. In contrast, others who have repeatedly lost under pressure develop a limiting mindset that reinforces defeat. This dynamic explains much about the long-term success of top players. Patrick discusses the emerging stars Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, praising the incredible quality and speed of their tennis. While acknowledging that the level of play has evolved, making today's players better statistically than legends like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic in terms of speed and physicality, he believes the historical context matters. If these players faced each other simultaneously, the older legends' experience and domination could have curtailed the rise of the new generation. Patrick notes that generations of great players, Dimitrov, Nishikori, Tsonga, were prevented from becoming dominant because of the unparalleled success of the Big Three, highlighting how mental barriers and context shape greatness. Tennis ranks among the most complete and demanding sports on the planet, according to Patrick. The sport requires intense cardiovascular fitness, agility, explosive power, tactical intelligence, and most importantly, mental endurance to withstand long battles full of emotional fluctuation. Managing frustration and maintaining focus during high-pressure moments distinguishes exceptional players. Patrick notes that even the best players losing their composure is natural and humanizes the sport. The complexity and difficulty of tennis contribute both to its appeal and the extraordinary qualities of its champions. Patrick challenges prevalent views that coaching and leadership must always be kind and gentle. He shares how confrontation and conflict, such as his early tough stance with Serena, can be essential for building respect, trust, and effective collaboration. He stresses that each individual responds differently. For some players, criticism fuels motivation rather than compliments, making it critical to adapt communication styles to the person. Patrick illustrates this with an example of a player who performed better when challenged negatively, as praise made her complacent. These personalized approaches highlight the nuanced psychology involved in high-performance coaching. Drawing from his experience and studies, Patrick advocates for parenting without judgment, emphasizing the importance of valuing effort and resilience over innate talent. He regards talent as potentially dangerous because it can lead to complacency and a fixed identity that players are fearful to lose. Parents often inadvertently protect children too much or discourage ambitious dreams out of fear of disappointment, which Patrick argues against vehemently. Instead, he believes in nurturing confidence and allowing children to face life's challenges to build strength and capability. Parenting that honors children's dreams and encourages hard work fosters the mindset essential for long-term success. Patrick opens up about his own childhood struggles with extreme shyness, anxiety, and low self-confidence, revealing how he turned adversity into an asset. Isolated from social interaction, he learned to read people acutely by observing their body language and emotions, a skill that later became invaluable in coaching. His journey involved dramatic shifts, including asserting control as a teenager and committing to psychotherapy for a year despite not speaking a word initially. A persistent inner voice convinced him he had potential, driving him through hardship. This personal transformation exemplifies his belief that confidence is not static, but developed through experience and effort. Patrick views coaching not as a professor imparting lessons, but as a partnership, navigating challenges together. He emphasizes the co-creative process of working through successes and failures to reshape a player's internal narrative and self-belief. This shared journey allows players to incrementally redefine what they think is possible for themselves, enabling growth beyond mental limitations. He highlights that everyone harbors untapped potential, often locked behind doubts and past negative experiences. When asked about core non-negotiable values, Patrick singles out respect, honesty, and kindness as fundamental. He points out that honesty can sometimes involve tough truths given for the good of the person, not merely politeness. Drawing parallels from Elon Musk's emphasis on kindness when hiring, Patrick underscores that kindness is key in cultivating lasting relationships and effective coaching environments. Passion may not be innate for every player, Patrick notes, but it can be cultivated by deepening understanding and engagement with tennis's subtleties. Passion is often contagious and can grow through genuine connection. Belief in oneself is even more complex, tied intimately to experience and overcoming negative past moments. Helping players rewrite their stories and build positive experiences around challenges lies at the heart of developing confidence. Throughout the conversation, Patrick reflects on how tennis constantly evolves, with newer generations pushing boundaries of speed, skill, and athleticism. While comparing eras remains difficult and often unfair, he views the rivalry between today's young stars and past legends as a fascinating ongoing story. The sport's progression ensures that standards rise steadily, with new players standing on the shoulders of giants. Patrick shares candidly about the difficulties in coaching Serena in her later career, especially a period when she struggled with motivation and stopped practicing. He admits making mistakes, particularly in not pushing her enough during an 8-month hiatus, realizing too late that she needed more active engagement to regain form. This acknowledgement illustrates the delicate balance coaches must maintain between respect, patience, and intervention. One of Patrick's coaching superpowers is his ability to perceive what people really think and feel beyond what they say. This skill developed from his own early isolation, compelling him to scrutinize subtle behaviors and implicit emotional signals. He stresses that much of human communication is masked or filtered, and that truly knowing someone takes time, often revealed only through their reactions to success and adversity. In a quick series of reflections, Patrick summarizes his greatest strengths as enthusiasm and highlights respect, honesty, and kindness as foundational. His best advice has been to pick battles wisely, while his golden rule for life is be yourself, recognizing authenticity as vital in high performance and personal fulfillment. For young people, he advises following their dreams with conviction, underscoring the power of self-belief cultivated throughout the episode.